In 2009, Borderlands introduced players to the planet of Pandora, filled with bandits, psychos, rednecks, and vault hunters. While some players were enamored with the frenzied co-op gunplay and loot-driven RPG systems, others could only tolerate a desert full of dog-like skags for so long. Now, Borderlands 2 invites you to see a wider, wilder side of Pandora. Is it badass enough for a return trip?
You've helped a foolish old man look far more badass than he deserves.
First, there was the vault, an alien prison opened with a mystical key.
The story in Borderlands 2 is by far the biggest improvement. The humor and over-the-top style that were merely glimpsed in the first game are ever present here. Strong personalities drive the experience from beginning to end, whether it's Claptrap's sense of self-importance, Tiny Tina's hyperactivity, or Handsome Jack's spiteful annoyance.
Anyway, I don't know, maybe you had to be there. The moral is, you're a total bitch.
The Vault Hunters from the original Borderlands have more dialogue in one scene than in the entire first game, and once teased mysteries are fleshed out and given purpose. In all of this, it's clear that comedy is the prime directive. Jokes are everywhere, from missions to weapon descriptions, full of references as random as the volleyball match from Top Gun.
They kicked me out because they thought I was just some chump. But you're gonna show them. You're gonna show them I am dangerous.
Our only real issue with the story is that dialogue fires off so frequently that you'll often miss a few key lines in the heat of battle, or trigger one audio log while listening to another with no way to go back and listen to it later.
You've weakened that bullymong. Now give him a mighty blow with your melee weapon and take his fur.
Wait a minute! You're not dead!
Starting out, you'll choose from one of 4 character classes, each with a unique action skill, like the Assassin's Decoy or the Siren's Phase Lock, which stops an enemy in its tracks. Digging deeper into each class, you'll find 3 branching skill trees, each of which significantly changes your character's abilities. Investing in the Siren's motion tree, for instance, will turn her Phase Lock into Thought Lock, pitting an enemy against its comrades. Outside of your character's experience, you'll also earn badass points, which essentially convert achievements into perks. By completing challenges like collecting vast sums of cash or getting headshots, you accumulate badass points and tokens. Each token can then be spent on minor boosts to accuracy, reload speed, and so on. These buffs are permanently tied to you as a player, applying to all of your characters in kind.
Ah! I hear bullymons! Sick of minion! Protect me, Squire!
Visual customization has also been added to Borderlands 2, providing unlockable heads and color schemes for each character. It's nice enough to express your style and differentiate yourself from other players, but compared to other games, it's still fairly basic. Rather than retreading the same scenery, the story keeps things moving from one area to the next, taking you through snowy glaciers, glittering cities, and grassy highlands in addition to the arid deserts the first game called home. You'll frequently be introduced to new characters and enemies, and the fast travel system is introduced much sooner to reduce your time slogging back and forth.
I want you to find that Vault Hunter and bring him to me now!
Side quests are essential to getting the most out of Borderlands 2. For one, you'll need the XP if you have any hope of surviving the later story chapters, but they'll also take you to huge new locations that the story never sets foot in, like the eerie caustic caverns. Many of these extra scenarios are just as significant and entertaining as the main plot, revealing backstory and even new characters. And while Borderlands 2 certainly has its share of fetch quests and extermination missions, they're just as driven by quirky character interaction, twisted goals, and unique loot.
Go talk to the cult's leader, Incinerator Clayton.
While the entire game can be played alone, Borderlands 2 is designed to let you team up with other players, increasing enemy counts and handing out better loot. Your place in the story is always tied to the host, but the system is smartly designed to minimize repetition. If you play with someone who's around the same part as you, your single-player progress will sync up just as if you had done it by yourself. However, if you happen to play with a group that's a few chapters ahead, your single-player story won't change, but once you catch up, you'll have the option to skip the missions you completed in co-op. Since it is an RPG, your co-op experience will be best if you stick to groups within 5 levels of your character. Go too far outside of that, and you'll either be one-shotting enemies or stuck in an aggravating cycle of death and revival. However, you'll always know what you're getting into as the matchmaking clearly specifies whether or not a host is a good fit. While Borderlands 2 lasts about the same 35 to 40 hours as the first game, that time is much more focused and varied. With 12 different character trees to explore, there's plenty of reason to replay with a different build, or you can continue improving your original character by taking on the true Vault Hunter mode that unlocks after completing the game.
I'm just gonna take a nap. Wake me up when I'm not on Pandora anymore.
Sorry about the mess. Everything Jack kills, he dumps here.
Since the first Borderlands was so focused on its extensive gun catalog, it's actually quite impressive how Gearbox has made the weapons feel new and fresh. While guns are still given somewhat randomized attributes, each manufacturer now has specific quirks. TDRs can be chucked like grenades, Jacobs fire as fast as you can pull the trigger, and bandits can store huge amounts of ammo. With all of the manufacturers' gun types, elemental effects, and the sheer craziness some guns offer, there's a constant sense of experimentation and developing affinities. Just as exciting is that this playfulness and experimentation has also expanded to other parts of your arsenal. You can equip shields that give you an extra burst of damage with amp shots, or that light melee attackers on fire.
I am already dead!
Likewise, you can equip grenades that home in and shock enemies, or that split into multiple projectiles, dissolving into your foes and sending health back to you. Enemy variety has also been vastly improved from the first game, with all manner of robots, men, and monsters. New creatures and variants will often surprise you. There are torturers with midgets strapped to huge shields, and Goliaths that can be sent into a rage against their allies and level up with kills, potentially transforming into an ultimate badass version that you'll struggle to take down. In addition to finding and targeting crit spots, there are various weaknesses to take advantage of. You can melt a robot with corrosive damage, for instance, or knock off its legs. However, you almost always fight against large mixed groups, requiring you to change tactics on the fly, while keeping an eye out for anything that might rush you and running to revive your teammates. Once the gunfire is slowed down, it's time to scour the area for loot, either blown out of enemies like smashed piñatas, or hidden in car trunks, toilets, and any other type of container nearby. While you can now grab scattered consumables like cash and health simply by walking over them, there's still an overwhelming number of small crates and lockers to open, which can certainly slow things down. While the amount of guns to sort through can be daunting at first, organizing it all has been greatly improved. There's a bank to store old favorites, backpack upgrades are easily available on the black market, and with a click of a button, you can set any item in your inventory as trash or favorite, so you can instantly sell your trash at the next vendor. There's still vehicles, including trucks that can carry full parties of 4. There's some fun to be had jumping over huge ramps, driving over wildlife, and blowing up bandits, but the handling is still fairly dodgy, making it easy to get stuck or flipped around.
I was worried Scooter might have a crush on me.
What?
It's cute that y'all think you're the heroes of this little adventure, but you're not.
There's no denying the demented sense of style that spawns super strong midget robots or eccentric characters like Ellie and Sir Hammerlock. The world is more distinctive and colorful, and many areas give a sense of history, telling a story of what happened there before.
That should do it!
I am alive!
The voice acting does an excellent job of delivering the sharp, witty banter and establishing each personality, but when you see the characters in person, the stiff, unnatural gestures aren't as convincing. Also, while texture streaming is improved, there are still moments when you'll be greeted by temporarily blurry citizens or environments. Musically, the score fits this futuristic frontier well, setting the tone with spaghetti western sensibilities that move aside for dark, gritty synthesizers when the action starts to heat up.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Everything that was great about the original Borderlands has been amplified and improved to make Borderlands 2 more focused, more satisfying, and utterly hilarious. Whether you're playing alone or with friends, the brash, outlandish attitude will keep a smile on your face. And as soon as you're done, you'll want to instantly start another character, do it all again. See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.